Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we got the Pacers tonight. Lakers, that is. We're talking about the Lakers and the Pacers this evening at 7:30 at Crypto.com Arena, which is really a welcome sight since we haven't played there in about a week or so. Had a couple games since San Antonio Spurs, won them all. Had a game against the Phoenix Suns, lost that one. Lost Patrick Beverly for 3 games because some bullcrap involving DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's been playing like uh, Karl Malone or Shaquille O'Neal or somebody ever since then, and so goes the story. We have Patrick Beverly missing for this game. Meanwhile, the Pacers have 2 players that the Lakers have been rumored to want, but really actually don't want, in Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Because if we wanted those players, we probably could have traded for them about 3 or 4 times since the summer, but nothing has been done in that regard. Uh, it's one of those situations where they had a game against the Clippers last night, and just like Ayton, Zubats turned into Shaquille O'Neal and went off for 31 and 29 against them. Add 3 blocks to that as well. Zubats we gave away for pennies on the dollar. One of the worst trades ever, by the way. But nevertheless, that's who destroyed them last night. And because of it, you gotta wonder if Miles Turner and Buddy Hield are still players the Lakers want. I mean, you figure Miles Turner plays the center position, and that's who was mostly guarding Zubats when he was going all Wilt Chamberlain on them. So, and then you look at their 3-point percentage, and between the two of them, they had 2 threes made and like 15 shot. Like both of those guys were really, really bad shooting the ball in that game. So that's the last thing the Pacers wanted, was for those guys to come to LA and be putrid. And that's exactly what happened. So one could say it was a combination of Zubats going absolutely nuts and a combination of those players going absolutely left that ultimately led to the Pacers getting beat yesterday. You gotta give credit to Norman Powell, who also threw in some points for the Clippers. That ultimately capped it off. But really, what I saw in studying that game was just a Pacer team that just had no discipline from behind the arc. They just shot like 43 of them, made 9 of them. They look like us to start the season. And I was looking at the fact that they had been winning games lately. And it was one of those things where I was listening to Dan, the Lakers fan. He was like, "Yo, the Pacers are not tanking. They're winning games, so we gotta respect them. Like they're not, you know what I mean?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's what's up." But then I looked at who they played, and I'm like, nah, that's not what's going on. What happened was they ran into the same thing we ran into, a bunch of teams that had no interest in winning any games in a row. They played the likes of like the Magic without Paolo Banchero twice in a row. They played Charlotte. They played who else did they play? I think it was like Detroit. Like a bunch of games that they absolutely could not lose because none of those teams are going to win any of those games. So it's like, okay, their success is skewed. They're not actually trying to win. They're just running into tankier teams than them in a flurry, and because of it, they were able to get those victories. So just like us, it was probably fool's gold, with both of these teams wearing gold, ironically. But nevertheless, it's one of those situations where I think both of these teams will really know what they're about tonight when they go up against one another. Um, with them coming off a back-to-back, I would imagine they'd be a little tired on the road, that kind of thing. It should definitely be in our favor, given the fact that we're supposed to get Anthony Davis back, and the way that he's been playing is out of his mind. And then you look at what LeBron James just did, shot 7 of 11 3-point shots, and is now expected to play at a very high level as well. So we're definitely a tough team to beat. And we're not like the Magic, we're not Charlotte, we're not any of them teams they just got running into. You're looking at Austin Reeves, who went 6 for 7 in the last game. Lonnie Walker's playing at a very high level. Dennis Schroeder had 20 points plus 6 assists or more. We got a lot of guys that are playing better than they did to start the season, and as a result, you need to take us very seriously if you're the Indiana Pacers. Now, the one thing I noticed about the Indiana Pacers in the last game is that they did not rebound the ball as well as they would have liked to. I think they had 39 rebounds as a team. We look at our last total, we also had 39 rebounds as a team without Anthony Davis. With Anthony Davis, I'd expect our rebounds are going to go up, given the way that he's been rebounding like a madman lately, like he's Dennis Rodman or somebody. So at this point, you would imagine we're going to have a very nice night on the boards, given what we've seen from both teams as of late, if Anthony plays. But the thing about that is, that's not something you can really count on if you look at the personnel the Pacers have, and here's why. They got a bunch of forwards, man. Not only Miles Turner, but you got to deal with Sticks. Of course, we know him from Phoenix, the one guy that I always reference to who they should have played in the finals but didn't. Their power forward lottery pick is now with the Pacers, and he is developing nicely. He had a 20-9 game, 23-9, something like that against the Clippers. One of the highlight players of the Pacers in that game. So we need to keep an eye on him. They're probably going to lean on him a lot tonight because of how well he played in that last game. So we're going to be looking at him as somebody we need to deal with. Another guy that they have on their bench at the power forward position is Amari Brissett, who also gets minutes. Isaiah Jackson, who also gets minutes. Batazde is another big that they have in rotation that has played well as of late. They have bigs. So rebounding is something that we're going to have to do a better job about. LeBron James mentioned it. Our defensive rebounding needs to improve. It's something that I've talked about as well, the offensive rebounds that we've been giving up to teams. This isn't the greatest offensive rebounding team. I did check their rebounding numbers from the previous game before that against the Nets, where they beat the Nets. They only had 5 offensive rebounds as a team in that particular game. So we need to crash the glass against this squad, and that's where we can really dominate on them, especially if AD's down there. They just don't appear to rebound all that great as a team. And given the fact that we're not that great of a rebounding team, but have done better and have kept up with teams that rebound better than us, I think this is one of those nights where we could take advantage of the boards, take the intensity that we used against some of those teams that rebound better, and force the issue against the Pacers. The Pacers are a bad three-point shooting team, but we're not exactly a good three-point perimeter defensive squad. We gave up a lot of three-point shots. We gave up a lot of everything in the last game. 138 points is what we were able to allow the previous squad, the Spurs, to have on their home floor. Unacceptable. Points in the paint. We're giving up at a high clip, 66 points in the paint. We gave up 39 fast break points. Our defense was terrible. So if we're going to go up against a Pacer team that has perimeter shooters, that has a guy like Tyrese Halliburton who can drop 40 and 20 on you, he is a very, very elite point guard, man. Very elite. Both sides of the floor, he can play. I don't know that there are 5 point guards in the NBA more talented than this individual today. Tyrese Halliburton is somebody that you must understand is playing at a very high level, and there's very little expectations for him not to put up a Hall of Fame-like line against a team like us when we're playing bad defense. It should be a lot of assists. It should be a lot of points. It should be very good efficiency from behind the arc. He is a very fluid and special impact star player at this point, and he's headed into higher ranks. So I just know what to expect from him. He's gonna electrify tonight, and he's gonna be somebody that we're gonna have to do a good job on. We've been dealing with Trey Jones, who's been a very good defensive point guard who can create assists as well. He put up a huge line against us in that previous game. I expect Tyrese Halliburton to have the same type of success. We're going to have to manage ourselves without Patrick Beverley. And that's going to be a problem because they have their own Patrick Beverley, and his name is TJ McConnell. And he's also playing at a very high level right now, stealing the ball as he always does, getting assists as well, keeping the continuity very high as a point guard. You talk about him and Halliburton, they create plays for others. If guys hit shots, they're going to make plays. We're talking about 2 players on that team that can get double-digit assists in the same game if the minutes are right. TJ McConnell and Tyrese Halliburton scare me. Simply put, they scare me. They are a very underrated backcourt tandem, and TJ McConnell is just like Patrick Beverley, just like Alvarado. He's one of them dudes. He's going to steal the ball. He's going to catch you off guard. He's going to hustle harder than you, and because of it, you're going to have a hard night dealing with him. We've been very lucky in the years that TJ McConnell has been on various teams. He's been hurt most of the time when we see the teams that he's on. When he played for the Sixers, he didn't have to deal with him very often because he was behind a bunch of people and often was hurt when we'd see him. Pacers, sometimes he'd be hurt. He is not hurt tonight. So I'm telling you, TJ McConnell is always a player that is a dangerous player to deal with on the basketball floor. No matter what team he plays for, no matter what role he's in, if he's on the floor, you got to deal with him and you got to treat him like he's a star, basically, because he can put up them type of numbers on both sides of the floor. So that's what I'm trying to express, the importance of keeping an eye on that dude. It knows no end, especially with Duarte not being in the lineup, Nembhard not being in the lineup as well, those guys being out with injury. They're going to be leaning on him more. So be very careful. Obviously, Buddy Hield is somebody you got to deal with, and with him having a bad shooting night last night, he's so inconsistent. You probably expect for him to go off for a very nice shooting like tonight. That's the problem. It's like, okay, Buddy went 1 for 9 the last game, so he could probably go 4 for 4 tonight. That's just how wildly inconsistent he is. It's why I don't want him as a player. But given the fact that it's against the Lakers, I expect both Miles Turner and him to try to go completely off, especially since they was garbage last night, both of them. So hopefully their struggles continue so we can have a little bit of easy energy against them. But honestly, I don't expect that. I don't. They've probably been thinking about this game since they saw it on the schedule. So given that they played so poorly against the Clippers, I just know they're going to come out and play well tonight. What we're going to have to do is continue to do what we need to do. Feed Anthony Davis. If LeBron James comes out tonight like he's Reggie Miller and jacks up 11 shots, I promise you we're not winning this basketball game. I know everybody's really, really excited about him going 7 for 11, and so was I. But not as it pertains to something that I want to see every night, as it pertains to seeing him get hot and not being afraid to continue to stay hot. If you're hot, you're hot, man. Everybody should shoot 11 if you hit 7 of them. That's the only reason why I want to see him attempt that many threes. To be honest with you, I think he needs to get away from the three-point shot and go toward the assist category as a means of helping the other players on this team continue to stay in rhythm while he's on the floor. Now, we got lucky last night because everybody who shot the ball shot at a high clip. But if for some reason they don't make their shots or he doesn't make his shots, this game was a loss against a Spur team that does not want to win. So I thought the Lakers played down to the level of the opponent. I thought they were intentionally looking to be offensive, or shoot the ball more so than play defense. And I thought, bringing back Dennis Schroeder was a big deal to why we were able to keep up with the Spurs when they're shooting and scoring the way that they were, running the way that they were. Our transition defense, as I said, was close to non-existent. The Pacers don't necessarily play at a very fast pace, I don't believe, but when Tyrese Halliburton is on the floor, they can turn into something that can if they want to. So you got to be careful. In fact, I would kind of renege on that in regards to the word pace, because he does play with a very fast pace, but I don't think that they're able to really manifest that into great production just because they don't quite have the talent right now. But once he starts getting real, once Smith and some of these other guys started getting better, he's going to be better. That's basically what it is. Tyrese Halliburton could probably win a championship one day if you give him the right talent around him. So this is one of them situations where I just understand what we're going up against. I know exactly what we're going up against in this Pacer team. And the reality is, just like the San Antonio Spurs, just like the Brooklyn Nets, just like some of the other teams that we've seen as of late, we can match up with them. And for some of the guys on our bench, like the Austin Reeves and the Walkers and the Browns, they can match up with their guys. They can match up with their guys. They don't have superstar talent. Outside of Tyrese, who's still developing, believe it or not. So you look at like Miles Turner, he can always put up a crazy line. Of course, he's a star. He can make an all-star team on his best year, but it's just a team that's looking to unload that guy. They're looking to unload those contracts and hopefully tank for Wembanyama. So what we want to do is take the temperature, see if they're going to be competitive tonight, or see if they're going to roll over and call this one a loss. I would think they would be competitive. I would think they'd want to showcase those two guys. So that's what we need to look for them to do. I want us to continue to lean on Wenyen Gabriel. He had such a very nice game, getting all kinds of and ones and things of that nature. So we should be probably looking to lean on him in the same way a little more than we had been. What else? I want to see us put TB on the floor. We're going to need to give AD the ball, as we always say, get him the ball constantly, and hopefully he can continue to rebound the way that he has. I don't know that injury was actually an injury at all. I think he was just resting, so hopefully he's 100%. And we don't have any setbacks of any kind. But him on the glass is everything. Just continuing to rebound at a high level. He's been rebounding over 15, 20, 18. He's been crazy. So if he applies that pressure to this Pacer team, they will cave. They're just not going to have anything to deal with him. Not to throw at him in regards to having any success. They should be outclassed. So that's what I'm looking to see happen, man. I want to see continued aggressiveness from all of our players and continued intent and unselfishness in regards to getting people the ball. We know who needs to have it. It's Anthony Davis. Russell Westbrook, we're going to need him to keep his turnovers down because we're a much better team when that happens. We need him to keep his confidence high and take good shots. and not get frustrated and throw away possessions early in the shot clock when things go left. I think that's something that we tend to do. He and LeBron James actually both kind of have that trait. Certain times when things go a certain way, if they're unhappy, sometimes they tend to just take early jump shots in the shot clock. They'll shoot with 16 seconds to go, 17 seconds to go, and it'll be a brick jumper. I haven't seen it too often, but it's a losing decision when it happens. It's something that you do that doesn't have a high probability of being successful. And it's kind of like throwing the controller when you're upset. In my mind, it's the equivalent of that when you're doing it on the basketball floor. I just want guys to try to eliminate those situations. Eliminate those. Make it so that never happens. When you're frustrated, I'd rather you call an errant time out than throw a possession away. That's really what I feel. So we got to recognize when we're shooting losing shots. And I will point him out when I see him, because we tend to do it. And just eliminate those. Take possessions very, very seriously, because that's the only way we're going to be able to defeat opponents that are better than us. That's the bottom line. We gotta be more intent on taking care of the basketball. Our turnovers were absolutely unacceptable against the Spurs as a whole. 16 in the last game, 22 in the previous game before that. We just turned the ball over too much, and so that's something that we're gonna have to work on. Keeping Dennis Schroeder in rhythm. I like him playing at this level. That's definitely something we want to continue to have him do, with Patrick Beverley continuing to be out. I would like to see us work Max Christie into the game. He's been back for 2 games now and hasn't had any playing time, and was a part of our regular rotation before he went into health and safety protocol. I don't want us to take a back seat with his production, or what do you call that? What's the word? I don't want us to take a back seat in regards to developing him. His development is the word. So that we can put him in a position to continue to be used out there with his size, his length, and his rebounding ability. With us not being the greatest rebounding team, with us not being the greatest transition team, those are strengths of his. He can help us in those areas. So I want us to use him, and use him regularly. Just like I say with Wenyen Gabriel, we need to do the same with Max Christie. Up their usage, lean on them more than we do. Who else? I've liked what I've seen from Kendrick Nunn. Every button that coaches press with Kendrick Nunn, sending him down to the G League as an organization, all of it has been good. You guys have been doing a good job with him, and I like what I've seen out of Kendrick Nunn. I want to continue to see him shoot the ball with confidence. It's been falling. The rhythm is there, and all the bad stuff I had to say about Kendrick Nunn is gone. As long as he's continuing to be efficient, play with confidence, and it's on the coaching staff to put him in positions to do what it is that he does, do his systematic things. And if that's the case, then we're going to have the best of Kendrick Nunn, and he's a real piece for us. So it's all coming together, man. I'm liking what I'm seeing. The aggressiveness of Austin Reaves looking to be a part of the scoring every single night. If he's accounting for more than 15 points of scoring every night, we're a different team. We're different. It's an entirely different dynamic. And so that's what I've been looking for. In the first 10, 15 games of the season, that's who I was hoping to see in regards to Austin Reaves. Not 1 point, 1 assist Austin Reaves. I don't know what that is. He'll be out there for 20 minutes not doing nothing. Never again, man. This is the Austin Reaves we need to see, and this is the Austin Reaves he's capable of being, and that's the only Austin Reaves I'll accept. He's too smart. He's too talented. Absolutely not. And I don't care if he's a second-year player. When you're that smart and you're that gifted at basketball, you just got to go out there and be that. You know what I'm saying? And that's who he is. So yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing from my team, man. I mean, we're so fickle around here on this channel, right? From week to week. Oh my God, they're great. Oh my God, they suck. Oh my God, they're great. I get it. I'm frustrated with it too. But the reality is that's how all over the place the team really is. It's not that we're reacting irrationally to what we're seeing. They're all over the place. So hopefully we can start to see some beginning signs of some consistency, and most importantly, intellectual competitive nature. As I always say, we got to be smart in how we compete. It ain't just about pushing people around and making baskets. You got to compete in ways that make it so that you keep your ammo in your pocket and don't give it to your enemy. And all those little things that we always talk about, we want to see them exercise that tonight. Latency respect, not slowing down plays for any reason. If you're tired, call a timeout. You know what I'm saying? We got other players we can put in the game. I don't want LeBron James slowing plays down. And I point him out because he was doing that last game. Your conditioning has to catch up, bro, and it will. But We want everybody else to stay on pace. That is what is best for the Lakers. And so that's what I'm about, man. Everybody needs to make their sacrifices. Everybody needs to do their job. We need to put an emphasis on transition defense and rebounding the dang basketball, pushing people off of the glass, boxing out. We do box out well. That's one thing I've noticed. For all of our defensive issues, we have good individual box out mentality guys who know what their responsibilities are in that situation and handle it. So I just want to see continued, confidence in guys and keeping that up. So that's what I'm thinking about, man. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Dennis Schroeder, I just want to continue to give him credit. He's really, really helped us by looking to assist the ball more. I know he's never going to be the greatest defender, but where he can really help the Lakers and make up for that is in continuity on the offensive end. He's always going to be able to slash to the bucket and make free throws. He's going to be able to hit three-point shots at a more than average clip, I guess. That's his three-point shots okay. It's good. But where we can really see him help us and improve is just making plays for others. If he and Lonnie Walker are able to assist the ball here and there while they're on the floor, if they're looking to both get their own shot and then as the game comes to them, be willing to make the extra pass, it's over for a lot of teams that have to deal with us. It's over. Because that's one of the things that I think makes us such a much more balanced basketball club is when you have your scorers also looking to get each other going, also looking to make sure that the guys that are not scoring so much get their easy buckets, easy layups, seeing the fruit in everybody being able to be involved in every play. The ball popping around the perimeter, those are things that I love seeing us do. So I just want to continue to see that. I know Patrick Beverley isn't playing in this game, but I told myself when I think about it, I was going to challenge him. And so I'm going to issue this challenge with him having something to think about while he's in street clothes tonight. I want Patrick Beverley to hit his corner three-point shot. I don't care if he hits any other shots at all. He don't have to make one layup. Just hit your corner three, man. I want you to park yourself in the corner just like PJ Tucker and turn yourself into a corner three specialist, because we're always creating that shot when he's on the floor and he can't seem to hit it. And that's the shot I've been seeing him hit for the Clippers and Minnesota, and I want to see him hit that shot for us because that's the shot we ultimately brought him in to hit. We were told he was one of the best three-point shooters and nobody knew was a three-point shooter. And obviously he can help us defensively at all times. We don't function as well without him on the floor defensively, right? And we know for a fact that we have trouble with him scoring. The one thing that I need him to be able to do on that side of the ball is hit that corner three, though. I need him to be able to do that. And I know he can, and that's why I'm issuing this challenge. They ain't got to come in and hit 100 of them in the next game. But throughout the course of the year, I want him to continue to put an emphasis on them two corners. And to continue to work on getting your leg strength back so you can be a specialist three-point shooter for us. If you can shoot above 39% from the three on the season, I think our team is going to be just fine. But if he's a black hole and he goes 0 for every night and we can't account for no scoring from him, then it's impossible to lean on his defense, and we're not as good as a team because we can't lean on his defense. And he's that good of a defensive player. So that's what it is for him. You give me 2 threes a game from that corner. One from each corner every night. If we create that shot, that's all I ask from him is 6 points. 6 points from Patrick Beverley, 2 corner threes, and I'm good. So that's what I'm asking for. He ain't gonna play tonight, we know that. But that's something that was on my mind, so I want to put it out there. So, LeBron James, continuing to do what he does. More than 3 assists, though, brother. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those fans. I just am different, bro. I look at 11 3-point shots attempted, and I know that's not good for us. I know it ain't. And him seeing 7 of them fall fresh off the injury is fool's gold. It's fool's gold, because now he's going to feel vindicated and dignified in shooting those 3-point shots, and that's ultimately what we need him not to do. The video footage of all them games that we were in to start the season showed us that is the bane of what's been going on. And the very thing he came back and did when he got back on that floor is shot a bunch of them. I'm telling you, celebrating that is wrong. He made them, and that's good. But here's the problem. We're not playing the percentages properly when that is the case. Why? Because LeBron James is historically a bad three-point shooter. So why in the hell do I want a bad three-point shooter shooting 11 three-point shots? See, these are the things that we don't ask because we're not supposed to ask because he's the king, so we let the king be the king. But what I'm saying is it's not that simple when he's not A, a consistent enough healthy player to be on the floor every single night, and B, a player who's going to shoot that well every single night when he is on the floor. So what does that mean to me? That means if we get used to him being 7 for 11 three-point shots in order for us to win basketball games, that means other guys aren't getting reps. So when he gets hurt, what happens? They suck. That's the point. You can't count on him, so why are we leaning on him? We need those other guys to be better. That's the point. That is the exact point. So if I go out there and I see him shooting 11 three-point shots, I understand that was 11 possessions where other guys did not get better. And the next time he pulls his groin, they're going to be 1 for 5, 1 for 6 because they were never in rhythm, relying on him and waiting on him and watching him. I'm not saying I want LeBron James to shoot less because I want so bad for the king not to pass Kareem. I don't feel nothing for that. I don't want LeBron James to fail as a Laker, and that's why I want him not to score as much because I want him to humble himself like I'm some Josiah Kyrie Irving nonsense. This ain't what that is. I'm looking at what I see, what's the team's problems is, and realizing this dude is catering to those problems and may not necessarily even be told by the people who need to tell him that because they're afraid to tell him that for obvious reasons. I ain't afraid to tell nobody nothing. I'm 4 months older than LeBron James. As far as I can tell, he's my youngin'. And I'm telling you, stop shooting so much. That's how I look at stuff. If you follow me, you know I'm different. So I would look LeBron Jed. I would look up at him and tell him, bro, stop shooting. I would look up at him. I'm 5'9". I would look up at that man and look at him like he was a little kid and tell him to stop shooting. Because that's how I'm wired, especially as it pertains to this team. You know, man, I would expect him to listen too, because I'm gonna have a good reason for it. It's not like I'm telling him that because I think I can beat him up. I'm telling him that because I think it can help him win. I'm telling him that because I think it can help those teammates around him who he don't believe in be better. And as he can see, when he's not out there shooting them 11 threes, what are they doing? Being better. Being more capable to be relied upon when he's not out there, which is the point. I swear I feel like I'm a bad guy and have to qualify myself for criticizing LeBron James when all I really want is to help LeBron James be better so he can win more. For us. Like, I don't understand how I'm a bad guy for that. You know what I'm saying? And this is the problem. That's why LeBron James hasn't gotten much better than he is, because everybody thinks there's a bad guy for holding him accountable. Isn't that parallel for other things that we see in this world? People are afraid to hold other people accountable, and as a result, they're not getting better at things. But they continue to engage in those things the same way as if they're the right way when things aren't necessarily the same way, so they engage in those ways and it doesn't get the same results because of it. They need to do things differently. People are afraid to tell them how to do things differently. It's chestnut checkers, man. Bron, stop shooting so much, brother. We need other players to be better around you. That's the only reason why. It's all up, bro. Literally. But if you're going to spite us, and I know that's what he's doing. I know it. I can feel it. If he's going to spite us and do things just because he thinks we're disrespecting him and who he is, he's going to lose doing it. Just like Josiah is when he does that in regards to Kyrie Irving. It's not, you got to stand on the right heels, man. You got to give yourself the best opportunity to succeed in what you're doing. And so if you're going to pout, what does that beget? More losing. This is what we've been telling him. If you're going to take stances, you didn't give up the picks for me, and that didn't give me enough to win. Well, of course you don't have enough to win. But you know what's going to help them believe that you're going to have enough to win? Not ever, ever, ever doing that. Not ever, ever doing that. You're the solution, Bron. You're the solution. You can be the solution to any problem on a basketball floor. And the fact that he goes out there and has so little, and it's proven that is not the case, it's not an actual proving of that not being the case. It's him not believing he's enough, doing things that doesn't allow him to have enough when he needs to have enough because of it. I don't have enough. Give me this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay. You have to pay him that, and that. All right. By the end of the season, because we got that guy and paid them that, now we don't have enough. So guess what? You've proven to yourself that you can't do it by yourself. But you could have did it by yourself if you would have believed that you didn't need those things that you asked for in the first place. They would have gave you things that would have been enough. You would have believed you could have did it without your input, and you would have won. You would have won. Because they would have more balanced cap situation that would have allowed you more
ways of interchangeably bringing you stuff that ultimately amend the stuff that goes bad as the games progress and you realize what it is that you actually need versus what it is you thought you needed. They're able to fix whatever holes become available with the flexibility that you kept them from having, which left you with not enough. That's all I'm saying. It's like faith. It starts with faith, man. I don't care how smart you are. You got to believe in yourself first. You got to believe in a God first, or whatever it is that your entity is, so that you cannot have to be in control of things that you will not be successful in trying to be controlled over. I got to control the roster. You won't control the roster. The game is the way that the league has been structured. It's made it so that you cannot do that without failing. And that's what LeBron James has tried to defy. It's like, no, I can do it anyway. But no, why didn't you apply that to the idea that you didn't need all of that? Because you can do it anyway. It's like, oh man, you ruin the flexibility of all these franchises that you go to, brother. And you didn't need to do that. All you need to do is allow them the flexibility to be able to fix whatever needs to be fixed in real time. That flexibility can get you a trade here, move a piece there, get this piece there. You always want things amended, and that is the missing ingredient to his equation. Not to control things from the beginning of the situation, but to leave yourself flexibility to change things as the situation progresses. To be able to mend out of things as they progress. That was what was missing for LeBron James' equation when he's trying to put together the teams. The pieces aren't more important than the flexibility to get out of situations that need changing. So, what does this all bring us back to? A different way of applying the same thing. Bron, you got to have faith that you can be the solution in regards to shooting the 3-ball less and it being what's best. See what I'm saying? It's just about how you approach different stuff. You're the solution, man. But you can definitely ruin something and make it so that you don't have enough. You can always take away more so that you don't have enough, is what I'm saying. You can always take away more. And that's what he allowed himself to practically have happen to him. He allowed him to take away enough so that he didn't have enough, when he was always enough if he would have kept what he had. So, as I look at the 3-point line, I want him to kind of look at that in parallel to thinking some other way. Just bring down you're approaching it the wrong way, man. All of this, trying to get the Lakers to maneuver, trying to get them to do things, it's all being approached the wrong way. You gotta start with the faith first, I think. If LeBron James applied faith first, and then control second, I think things will start to fall into place for him a little better. For whatever it's worth. Faith first, control second. Now, what we need to do is control the boards and apply faith, of course, in regards to Russell Westbrook and various players that haven't played well. And that's another thing, we want to continue to encourage guys to play well who have had struggles, including LeBron James. You know what I mean? Everybody on our team has had struggles. And I think if we do the work, we can be more triumphant than we ever thought we could be, because we've been through more adversity than we ever thought we would. You know what I mean? We're going through stuff as a team that is going to, just by way of scaring you, it's going to make you a better team in terms of you shooting 10% from behind arc. You're not going to shoot as bad going forward because you definitely have learned that lesson. You get out rebounded by 20 on the offensive glass, for sure you're going to box out next time because you be scared of that. You never let that happen again. I think that's what we need to do in regards to certain things going forward, just the same, and continue to work against those tendencies, as I always say, so that can make us a better basketball team. And so the emphasis lately, as we said a million times, transition defense, stop the fast break, put faster-footed players on the floor, match up properly. We can't do everything. We have to give up something. So if we're putting faster-footed players on the floor, that means we're going small ball. That means Anthony Davis got to play the 5. In those small ball lineups, I want us to have a Whitney Gabriel or Juan Toscano Anderson next to AD. And if we're going to go small ball, to be honest with you, I'd rather LeBron James not even be a part of it. Those should be lineups he's not a part of. He doesn't play well in small ball lineups. Why? Because he's asked to be the big and he's not the greatest defender. That's exactly why. He doesn't think like a big to begin with. He doesn't. So he's not going to be able to have as much success against those guys and pushing them around and rebounding and all that anyway. Then he wants to conserve his energy. So that's like you're leaving him down there to be a big when he's actually a guard. So if you're going to do small ball, it has to be 80 Winion and then 3 guards.
or 80 Troy Brown at 3 guards. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like those lineups. But when you put LeBron James in them small ball lineups outside it, and you remove AD, or you put AD and Braun in lineups with 3 guards, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. Braun needs to be considered a small big, meaning he needs real bigs on the floor in order for him to effectively run as a big. If we're not thinking along those lines, we're just setting ourselves up for failure. I've seen this now for 2 years in a row. Frank did it a bunch of times last year. It was bad each and every time. So we run him at the center, and people were raving about how it worked. Oh my God, his numbers are great. He can create from anywhere, any position. Center, point guard, doesn't matter. He can do what he does from any position, just like Magic Johnson was able to as well. So it's not about that. It's about whether or not he can do the things against real big bodies that make it so that he can be your big. And what I've seen is no, absolutely not. Not right now, probably not ever before either. So they've gotten away with him being a power forward, the center and all that. He can run the power forward, of course, but you just got to keep big players down with him. So those are the things I'm just paying attention to, man. Lonnie Walker, it's not enough being said about Lonnie Walker's efficiency and how well he's played. His 3-point ball is falling. We want him re-signed, man. We want him re-signed. I wasn't as adamant about keeping Malik Monk. And we loved Malik Monk probably the same way. But I think it's because we lost Malik Monk that we understand we don't want to lose Lonnie Walker. It's like we looked up and got another good shooting guard. This is like the third one we've got in a row. Caruso, him. Like we're finding these guys, but we're not keeping them. So that's why the emphasis on Lonnie Walker, because we got a third one. Are we sure we're going to be able to find a fourth? Let's not keep doing this. We've been getting lucky. And how much better would our team be if we kept all 3 of these guys? If we would have had Lonnie Walker, Alex Caruso, and Malik Monk. You see what I'm saying? And there's no reason why that's not even the case. We had all their money. You know what I'm saying? So this is just one of those situations where the Lakers made bad decisions, and we just want them to stop doing that. Keep Lonnie Walker and keep Austin Reeves. Those are the 2 players that you need to secure their money. Now, everything else that happens after that, we can figure it out. But those 2 players, please, by all means, let's keep them on the payroll. So that's really where I'm at, man. I'm very excited about this game. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I'm excited about it because there are a couple players on this young team that I want to see. Sticks, Isaiah Jackson, Halliburton, Mathurin. Ain't no way I'm in this video without mentioning Ben Mathurin, of whom I'm challenging to do more than score the ball. Everybody's giving him all this credit, and I've said this before. Everybody's giving him credit for being a high efficiency scorer, which is his functionality. You're gonna make buckets. That's cool. Develop into an assist man. Develop into a defensive player that gets steals. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for from Mathurin, because I know he has those intangibles in his game. He can do all of those things. He's just only scoring, which is an excellent thing. But when you only score, it tends to catch the eyes of the media. Oh my God, he's playing so well. No, he's scoring the ball. And he's going to do more, and he's going to develop into doing more. And if he doesn't, he's not going to be as good as y'all say he is. But I know he's good. I know he is. So look out for Ben Mathurin. He's the truth. He said what he had to say about LeBron James. We told him in the summertime that this game was coming. This game was coming. And nobody forgot. He said that he was as good as LeBron James. And he said LeBron James going to have to prove to him that he's as good as he is. People say you the king, prove it to me. That's what that Ben Mathurin said as a rookie before he played his first NBA game. And what did I tell him? I was like, brother, you're going to have to see him. You got to see him. So I can tell you right now, there's very little chance the Pacers have any opportunity of actually winning this basketball game. Pacers are losing this one. And it's because of that. I'm just be honest with you. I'm dead honest with you. I've watched a lot of basketball in my life. Rookies don't get to do this to GOATs. They just don't. So I expect the Pacers to come out of this game with an L tonight. But I will say this. The Pacers tend to play well at this building. Crypto.com, Staples Center, they win here. And they win here a lot. And we need to know that. We need to understand that. And we need to be aware of that when they come to our building tonight. They win here more than they don't, historically. And that's coming from somebody who's watching this league, watching this team for almost 30 years. They always beat us.
but they didn't in the finals in the year 2000. We took one from you, Reggie. I ain't forgot. So that's really what I have to say about that, man. Look out for Ben Mathurin. Look out for all those guys. Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Buddy Hield. They got players to consider, man. I wish we were able to see Nembhard. That's a young rookie I like. He's hurt with a knee. I don't know how bad the knee is, but he's a very good player. Aaron Naismith. Aaron Naismith is another high-level three-point player that they have. He can shoot the ball, who gets a lot of rotational minutes for the Pacers. Do not sleep on Aaron Naismith. He's a very, very, very good role player for them who's continuing to develop as well. So I'm telling you, this Pacers team has some talent. You know, it's not like we expect them to be able to outclass us in any way. But if you sleep, they can beat you. And that's really what it's all about. So understanding that and bringing the right energy to this game, particularly on the boards, push them off the glass, and take the temperature on whether or not they're able to hit threes tonight. They're probably going to launch a lot of them, so be ready for that. I think against the Nets, they launched it's probably like 36, and against the Clippers, they launched like 40-something. They only hit 9 of them, but it's just one of those things where it's like they have shooters, so be ready. That's what I got, man. Defensive side of the ball is going to be very important tonight. If we drop the ball on that side, we will lose. But Ben Mathurin gave us enough bulletin board material to assure that every bit of LeBron James's energy should be pointed at him. So that's what I expect to see, man. We're going to get the win tonight. That's my prediction. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.